Nobody was ready for what happened in Madrid. Not the fans, not the media, not even the people who were standing right there in that arena watching it go down with their own two eyes. Because when Bad Bunny decided to show up to his first concert in Spain, he did not just show up to perform. He showed up to make history, to send messages, to shake tables, and to remind the entire world exactly who he is and what he is capable of. And by the time that night was over, Madrid was not just a tour stop on a map. Madrid had become the most talked about city on the planet, and every single person who missed that show was lying in bed staring at the ceiling, wondering how they let it happen. Shh! Turn the volume up, but keep it low. This is Rap Deepest Secrets, the one place the labels can't control, exposing the codes, the cover-ups, the real cost of fame. Help us to monetization by subscribing. Now, back to the video. Let us go back to the beginning, because to understand why that night hit so different, you have to understand the kind of energy that was already building before Bad Bunny even stepped foot on that stage. This was not just another concert. This was the first time Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, the kid from Vega Baja, Puerto Rico, the boy who used to bag groceries at a supermarket while uploading songs to SoundCloud, was bringing his show to Madrid. Spain had been waiting, the Latin community in Europe had been waiting, and the whole internet had been watching to see what he was going to do, because with Bad Bunny, you never fully know. The man operates on a different frequency. He does things his way, on his timeline, and he does not ask for permission from anybody. The night started the way these nights always start when you are dealing with a true superstar. The crowd was electric before a single note was played. Thousands of people packed into that venue, phones in the air, voices already raw from screaming before the lights even went down. The anticipation in that place was so thick you could feel it pressing against your chest. And then the music started, and the crowd lost their minds, and everything that was about to happen began to unfold in a way that nobody could have scripted, because this was real life moving faster than fiction. But here's where the story takes its first turn, and this is the part that had the whole internet frozen with their mouths open. Somewhere in that building, tucked away from the main stage, there was a smaller setup, a little house, an intimate space designed to feel closer, warmer, more personal than the massive production happening out front. And Bad Bunny walked into that space, and he did something that made every gossip account, every entertainment blog, every WhatsApp group chat, and every comment section on Earth explode simultaneously. He started dancing. Not just performing, not just moving to the music the way artists do when they're hitting their marks and following a set list. He was actually dancing, locked in, completely present, with his full attention pointed in one direction, toward Ester Expósito. Now, if you do not know who Ester Expósito is, let me paint the picture real quick. She's one of the biggest actresses in Spain, one of the most followed Spanish-speaking celebrities on the entire planet, and she's the kind of beauty that makes people stop mid-sentence and forget what they were saying. She became famous through the hit Spanish series Elite, and from the moment she appeared on screens, the world took notice. She's elegant, she's magnetic, and she carries herself with the kind of quiet confidence that doesn't need to announce itself. And there she was, inside that little house at the Bad Bunny concert in Madrid, and there he was, dancing for her like the rest of the room did not exist. Think about what that moment actually means. Bad Bunny is arguably the biggest Latin artist alive right now. The numbers back it up, the culture backs it up, the sheer obsession that follows him everywhere backs it up. This is a man who could have any room in the world at his feet, and he chose to spend a private, intimate moment inside that concert dancing specifically for one person. That is not something you do casually. That is not a random stage interaction. That is a statement. And the people who were in that little house watching it happen knew exactly what they were witnessing, even if they couldn't fully explain it in words. The energy between two people either exists or it doesn't. And from everything that leaked out of that night, the energy in that little house was undeniable. By the time clips started circulating online, the internet had already split into factions. Some people were screaming their support, living for every second of the footage and demanding more. Some people were in their feelings about it, if you know what I mean. And some people were just genuinely shocked because Bad Bunny is known for being fiercely private about his personal life. He guards that side of himself carefully, which is exactly why moments like this one feel so significant. When a man who normally keeps those walls up decides to let something show in front of thousands of people, that is not an accident, that is intention. And Madrid saw it happen live. But wait, because the night was not done delivering, not even close. If the dancing in the little house was the moment that broke the internet, what happened next on the main stage was the moment that broke the crowd completely in half and put them back together, screaming louder than before. Because right when the energy was already at a level most concerts never reach, Bad Bunny pulled a move that nobody outside of Madrid was going to get to experience. He brought out Myke Towers. Now, Myke Towers is not just a feature artist. He's not just a name on a track list. Myke Towers is one of the most respected voices in Latin trap and reggaeton, a Puerto Rican artist with serious credibility, serious skill, and a chemistry with Bad Bunny that goes back years and runs deep. These two together on a track is not a collaboration. It's a conversation between two artists who understand each other at a level most people in music never find. And when Myke Towers walked onto that stage in Madrid, the crowd went absolutely feral. They performed Adivino together, and they performed it exclusively for Madrid. That word is important. Exclusively. This was not something that happened at every stop on the tour. This was not a standard setlist edition. Bad Bunny looked at Madrid, looked at that crowd, and decided that they deserved something nobody else was going to get to experience. That's the kind of gesture that turns a concert into a legend. That's the kind of thing people talk about for years, the kind of story parents tell their kids, the kind of night that becomes part of a city's identity. Ask anyone who was in that arena when Myke Towers appeared and watch their face change when they describe it. That look is the look of someone who knows they witnessed something unrepeatable. Adivino is already a song that hits hard on its own. The production, the lyrics, the back and forth between the two voices, it all builds into something that feels bigger than a regular track. But hearing it live in that room with both artists right there feeding off the crowd and feeding off each other, that's a completely different experience. The bass in your chest, the vocals bouncing off the walls, 20,000 people singing every single word back at the stage with the kind of unified energy that gives you chills even when you're not cold. That's what music is supposed to do to people. That's what it feels like when art works exactly the way it's meant to work. And through all of it, the dancing in the little house, the surprise appearance, the exclusive performance, there was a thread connecting everything. Bad Bunny came to Madrid with something to say, not in a press release, not in an interview, not in a carefully worded statement through a publicist. He said it the way he always says the things that matter most, through the music, through the movement, through the choices he makes in real time in front of real people. He showed up fully. He gave Madrid everything he had. And in return, Madrid gave him something back that you can't manufacture or buy or fake, which is a room full of people who were completely, totally, and irreversibly in it with him from the first note to the last. The aftermath of that night spread across every platform and every time zone before the sun even came up over Spain. The clips from the little house were being dissected and replayed. The footage of Myke Towers walking out was going viral in real time. The comment sections were war zones in the best possible way, full of people arguing and laughing and screaming into the void because they had too many feelings and nowhere else to put them. That's the signature of a night that actually mattered. A night that people can't stop talking about is a night that touched something real. What Bad Bunny did in Madrid was not just a concert. It was a flex, a love letter, a mic drop, and an exclusive invitation all at the same time. He danced for a woman in front of thousands of people and did not flinch. He brought out one of his closest collaborators for a performance that nobody outside that city would get to experience live. He reminded everyone watching, in the building and on their screens, that he operates on his own terms, and those terms are always going to be more interesting than anything you could predict or expect from him. Madrid will remember that night for a long time. The fans who were there will carry it with them, and the people who watched it unfold from their phones in other cities and other countries already know deep down that they need to find a way to be in that room the next time Bad Bunny decides to show the world what he is really made of. Because one thing is clear after everything that went down on that stage and in that little house in Madrid. When Benito shows up, he shows all the way up, and you do not want to miss it. I would really appreciate your insights on this matter, so feel free to share your views in the comments. Additionally, remember to like, subscribe, and enable notifications to keep up with this story.